What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be installing a ARB front locker onto my Tacoma. If you guys don't know what this does, make sure to stay tuned to the video. We're going to be talking about a couple things, and I am right here, of course, with my good friend Jason, better known as Sibi Built. So he's going to be answering some questions that I have, and that will probably help you guys out. So if you guys are interested in getting one of these bad boys as well, make sure to check out the description box below. I'll make sure to link it with a discount code. So let's go ahead and now get into the video and give you guys some information on this. Let's go. All right, you guys, so before we actually ask Jason a couple of these questions that I have, and I know you guys will probably have, I want to show you guys what we have right here. So to install an ARB front locker, you are going to need a couple things. You're first going to need a compressor, which we would recommend going with a dual air compressor from ARB. Of course, I only have a single, but that should be good enough. And then you're also going to need some type of switch panel or something that's going to power this thing up. As far as for me, I do have an aux beam switch panel, so that's what we're going to be hooking it up to. And if you guys want to watch that video on how to install that, check out the description box below. Once again, if you guys do want to buy any of this stuff, I will link it in the description box below. And if you guys do want to hit up Jason for any of your work, make sure to check the description box as well. I only trust him whenever it comes to gears or anything like that. I wouldn't take this honestly to anybody else. This is something super crucial. If they do it wrong, it's going to destroy a lot of stuff. So make sure to go to a trusted shop. That's why I said I'd recommend going with him. Check him out, description box below. Damn, look at that ass right there. I'm just kidding. Right now, the line that you guys are seeing, which is this here, it's gonna be the air line. Now he's just routing it, and we are working on the front locker, which is taking apart the actual diff to take out the gears and install that front locker. It's gonna be awesome once we install this, because now it's gonna be a new beast with more problems. I'm just kidding. So while he's working on the gears and installing the front locker, which you can see it goes into one piece there, we're gonna go ahead and focus over here. So once again, you can get a dual air compressor, which is probably a little bit better, and I know Jason recommends that as well, only because you can also use it to air up your tires if you did that. With this single air compressor, I mean, it's not that strong, but it's gonna be enough just for that locker. So keep that in mind. If you do plan on running it for your tires as well, just go ahead and purchase it, spend the extra money and buy the dual. But there is that. And then of course what we have right here is going to be a Z Rhodes Z bracket for this mount. Cool thing about this one is if I ever down the road want to go ahead and upgrade to a dual, this mount is still going to allow me to do that. So that's why I ended up going with this brand. If you guys do want it, I'll link it also in the description box below. So right now when we go to install it, hopefully everything goes well, because usually everybody knows when you go cheap, sometimes things go wrong. One thing I do want to say though, this thing wasn't cheap. So heck yeah, let's keep going. One thing to take note on this compressor, the single one with this mount here, it is a little bit odd, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, that just depends on the brand you get. You have to maneuver this bracket around to make it sit properly. If you guys ever have to do that, there's two little screws there that'll help you move it, and then you can mount it properly. There's instructions for it, you guys can follow it, or you can hit up Jason, have him do it, but it's pretty simple on this piece. Hard part is getting that whole thing together, which is that front locker. And once again, there's not really a tutorial I can give you guys for this, because this is not something you want to do at home. This you really have to know how to work on gears. And what you guys just saw there is to go ahead and run the breather line. So keep that in mind. You guys do have to make a hole on there. So this is going to be a permanent thing. If you guys ever do want to switch back, of course, you're going to need to take everything apart once again. You're going to need to buy a new cover and put it back to stock. But of course, with my truck, where it's gone so far, this thing, there's no going back. To give you guys a quick look, there it is. So with this mount, like I was saying, the cool thing about it is later down the road, if I want to get rid of this single ARB and put a dual, we just unbolt it and basically reinstall the new one. I don't have to buy another mount. That's why I got this mount, specifically for that reason. We're gonna run this single for now though, but just wanted to show you guys, there it is. Once again, if you guys need instructions, they're pretty detailed on the instruction manual it comes with. So this isn't gonna be a detailed video. Just kind of showing you guys, and make sure you guys stay tuned to the end of the video because we're gonna give you guys some details on who should be getting this locker, what kind of brand you should go with, and just a couple more questions that I have for Jason that he's gonna answer for you guys. So now that everything's kind of put back together, you can notice it right here. This is where we had made the hole for the breather line, and then of course everything's now set inside. Right now we're gonna go ahead and test it, make sure everything is in working condition, and then we can put it onto the truck, start running the lines, reinstall everything. Say that again?
No leaks.
Heck yeah. Perfection. We're all good here.
All right, yep, holding pressure.
Heck yeah. With the pressure test that we just did, it's holding the air, so that's a good sign. If it would have started leaking, then that's a bad sign because you'd have to, of course, take everything apart, and that would be horrible. So now the front diff is installed once again, and of course once you reinstall it and do this mod, you are going to need to put some brand new oil. So that's what Jason's doing right now. Can't wait to show you guys out on the trails what this thing does, so make sure to stay tuned for that video, which will do a comparison of a no locker with this front locker. So now that everything is kind of wired in its place, it's all put away, it looks nice and clean. Up next, what we're gonna need to do is just test it out, make sure everything's working properly, which I'm trusting them, I already know it is, but you always gotta double check.
There you go.
And nice and clean.
Click it a few times.
There it is. Heck yeah. So we just checked it right now. What you want is the compressor not to keep running. It should only turn on for a second and then switch back off. That's how you'll know you won't have leaks. If you still hear the compressor just running and running and running, that means something's wrong. Check your lines, check something, because that's not good. It'll blow up.
Hell yeah.
All right, you guys, so we finished up the installation. Once again, this was not a how-to install. This was more of an informatory video. So we just gave you guys a couple clips, but right now, whoever stayed until the end, this is where the information is gonna come in handy. Of course, my good friends right here at Sibi Built did do the installation for me. And once again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I would only go to someone that you actually know that you can trust with gears. Don't do this at home. Don't let just your buddy in a garage or one of the Mexican guys over there do it for you from Home Depot. I mean, seriously, because it will blow something up, trust me. So that's why I had them do it. They already did my regear as well. If you want to watch that video, it'll be in the description box below. I put a bunch of miles on it and still no problems. And we abuse the heck out of this truck. You, me, everybody does know that I abuse it.
Last week we did too.
Right now, we're gonna go ahead and ask them a couple questions about this, and they're gonna answer it for you and give you guys some information. So first off, someone trying to accomplish this install, would you recommend it? Because I know I wouldn't. At home? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Another thing too that I wanted to ask, and some of these people probably will ask, who should actually do a front locker? Like, is the front locker for everybody, or is it for a specific type of person? What do you guys think?
I think a front locker is more for someone that's into rock crawling, or they're doing a lot of solo exploration in the backcountry. If you're just doing fire roads and camping, it may be a bit excessive. But backcountry a lot could be the difference between making it home or being stuck for 6 hours, 8 hours,
exactly,
and waiting for someone to come by and help you out.
These trucks also have a lot of features too, like the crawl button.
Yeah, the crawl control and all that
will get you out of whatever you need. It's just not as direct as having a front locker.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That being said, I mean, lately we've been hitting a lot more rock crawling trails. I know in certain situations, and I know Jason saw in certain
weekend.
Yeah, it would have helped out having it.
Even worth that $1,500 to you, or
that's the thing. Yeah, whatever, depends how many times you're going to use it, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're going out all the time and it's your toy, I would say do it. If it's your daily and once you do fire roads,
don't do it. Yeah, The time, the money, it gets expensive. Now, is it worth it? Once again, I mean, if you're a rock crawler, yeah. What kind of lockers are out there for people to buy?
There's e-lockers and there's air lockers. Eaton makes a lot of the e-locker stuff. I mean, they also make the air lockers as well.
Just in case somebody out there that they don't know the difference between an e-locker or an air locker, what's the difference?
With an air locker, it requires an air compressor and it's going to use the air pressure to activate it.
Okay.
Whereas the e-locker is just going to be a switch.
And not only with the air locker, you also need some type of switch for it, right? So like, for example, aux beam, switch panel.
Like we just did on yours.
Exactly.
Compressor, manifold, solenoid. You need a switch panel, or else you're going to have an entire mess of wiring with the ARB wiring. It takes forever to do, so you got to do that. Whereas an e-locker, you can just run it.
It's more of like a bolt-on application. It's still hard, don't get me wrong, don't do it at home and get that confused.
E-locker is a little slower to engage, but over time, I feel like for most people, it's going to be
better.
The way to go.
And what kind of brands are out there? Like, is there any off-brand technically, or?
There is, but not really. We only use Eaton and ARB, Eaton E-locker.
Definitely want to use
we would not be.
I know I wouldn't.
The amount of work and time we're going to put in.
You don't want to go with that, So that being said, those are the main brands that you want to stick to. Eaton or ARB only. Okay. And then something like this, in parts alone, roughly, what do you think would run a customer?
E-lockers are around $14 to $15.50 just for the part. If you do it with a regear, then the labor is basically zero.
Washed out,
If you do the air locker is around $1,100, and you got to do all the labor,
all the other stuff,
plumbing and all that stuff. So that's up to you guys. If you already have an onboard air system on your truck, then doing an air locker makes more sense than an e-locker. But if you don't, then doing an air locker, unless you want a compressor to air up your tires, is kind of a lot of extra work and money.
And that being said, I mean, as far as like the compressor, I know for me, we only did the single.
Right.
But that was because I strictly just want it for the locker, nothing else. Now, if you guys do have like a dual compressor, there's trucks that they sell that you can use it also for your tires, right?
Yeah, like we sell the ARB dual all the time. This is actually the first time any of us has installed a single, and we do this all the time because everybody gets dual, they want both function. This will air up your tires.
Yeah,
it's just going to get really hot. And the way that we set it up now, we set it up with compressor and locker on one button. That way when you turn it on, compressor fires up, solenoid opens, your locker's engaged, you turn it off, solenoid opens, releases the air, compressor's off, so that way it's easier. Versus if you do the dual, you have two buttons.
You have two, See, and that's like for me, I mean, it made it simple for me. This application is only for certain people like me, but now for you guys, you can also do the dual, and that'd be another application. Once again, they do have them on hand, so if you guys do want to get this done, make sure to hit them up. And I know a bunch of you guys always forget to let them know that I sent you over, because you guys end up messaging me after, hey, I forgot to tell them. Well, sucks for you, but you know, maybe you guys should let them know when you're hitting them up. So they'll hook you guys up.
If you're using your truck that comes with a factory locker, usually, if not, I would definitely recommend adding a rear, because the rear is going to get you up 95% of the stuff. You're only going to need that front locker if you're stuck with the rear engaged and the front's like spinning one tire. So basically, like you said,
serious off-road, a rock crawler.
And I would also recommend carrying a spare CV, like you were talking about earlier.
That's what me and Jason are going to do.
If you bump it the wrong way, stresses. These trucks were not designed to run.
Especially for the long travel.
Especially long travel, because also it's just good to have, because if you break that on the trail,
that's going to suck.
So carry a spare CV if you have a front locker.
That being said too, I mean, when installing a locker, no matter front or rear, do it when you're doing a regear. As far as for me, we're doing kind of double the work. I'm sorry.
Don't be like this guy.
Don't be like me. I kind of did it down the road.
Because we had a whole talk about this when you did it. We're like, do I need it? Do I not need it? Nah, I don't need it.
And now look, we're here again. So that's 100% my fault. So save the money if you plan on doing it. I'd highly suggest doing the rear, because that probably is going to help you out.
Do the rear for sure.
Yeah, you can see it when you guys go off-road with your friends. If they have open diff, they're not going through stuff you're going through if you have a TRD off-road like us. That rear locker does do magic. So keep that in mind, you guys. Once again, hit them up, whether it's regear, whether it's installs, anything like that. They can actually get you handled. Pricing is decent. So far, I mean, I haven't heard nothing bad on their name. So, you know.
We haven't had a single one come back.
Down the road here, we'll go ahead and make a video too. I'll try to do like a comparison video with somebody that doesn't have lockers versus mine, just so you guys can kind of see like a side-by-side comparison, what this can actually do.
I think it would be good to compare it to with the crawl.
With the crawling,
see where the crawl will get you and how quick it works, get on an obstacle, and then
versus
how quick the locker works.
Yeah.
The locker will be immediate where the crawl takes a few seconds and
to kick in, huh? I hope you guys did enjoy today's quick little video. If you guys did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, make sure to check them out. Their Instagram's also in the description box below, along with their contact info. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.